Imagine this. Everything you've ever believed in, your dreams, your morals, your ambitions, might actually mean nothing. Not because you failed, not because the world is cruel, but because existence itself could be empty of meaning. This is the unsettling core of nihilism, a philosophy that dares to ask the most radical question: what if nothing truly matters? In a world obsessed with finding purpose through religion, success, money, or even love, nihilism comes like a hammer smashing those foundations. It doesn't whisper comfort, it screams doubt. And yet this terrifying idea has shaped art, literature, politics, and modern thought. From Friedrich Nietzsche to Dostoevsky, from modern existential dread to memes about the absurdity of life, nihilism continues to haunt us. But here's the paradox. By embracing nothing matters, some have found incredible freedom, creativity, and strength. Today we're diving deep into the meaning or meaninglessness of nihilism to understand not just why it scares us, but why it might liberate us. The term nihilism comes from the Latin word nihil, meaning nothing. At its core, nihilism suggests that life lacks objective meaning, purpose, or intrinsic value. But this idea didn't just appear out of nowhere. In the 19th century, nihilism exploded in Europe. It was a time when traditional belief systems, especially religion, were being questioned. Science was advancing rapidly, industrialization was transforming societies, and old moral frameworks were crumbling. Nietzsche captured this cultural earthquake with his famous proclamation, "God is dead." For Nietzsche, this wasn't a celebration but a diagnosis. Humanity had killed the old gods, the old beliefs, but what would replace them? Without God, without objective morality, what would guide us? This vacuum, this nothingness at the heart of existence, became the terrifying specter of nihilism. Philosophers debated, is nihilism a disease of modernity or the truth of reality itself? Dostoevsky's novels warned of moral collapse without belief. Meanwhile, anarchists in Russia embraced nihilism politically, rejecting all authority and tradition. What started as a philosophical idea grew into a cultural movement. To understand nihilism, you must experience its emotional weight. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that your job doesn't matter, your struggles don't matter, and even your life itself, on the scale of the cosmos, is utterly insignificant. That sinking feeling is what philosophers call existential dread, or the abyss. It's the recognition that the universe is vast, cold, and indifferent. The stars don't care if you succeed or fail. History will forget your name. Even humanity as a species could vanish without trace, and the universe would go on. This is the terrifying heart of nihilism. Without a higher purpose, why bother with anything at all? Why not just give up? Many encounter nihilism during personal crises, loss of faith, depression, or when old beliefs collapse. But nihilism isn't just despair, it's also honesty. It's stripping away illusions and facing reality as it is. It asks us to live without comforting lies. Nihilism isn't just one idea, it branches into multiple forms. Metaphysical nihilism, the claim that nothing truly exists, radical, abstract, and more like a thought experiment. Moral nihilism, the belief that there are no objective moral truths, right and wrong are human inventions. Existential nihilism, the idea that life has no inherent meaning or purpose. Political nihilism, a rejection of all authority, traditions, and institutions, popular among 19th century revolutionaries. Each form attacks the foundations of human belief. Together they create a worldview where nothing is absolute and everything is contingent. No discussion of nihilism is complete without Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche saw nihilism as both a threat and an opportunity. The death of God left humanity without a compass. Without meaning, humans risk falling into despair, apathy, or blind conformity. But Nietzsche believed this collapse could also open the path to something greater. Out of nihilism, we could create new values, forged not by religion or tradition, but by human will. This was the birth of his idea of the Übermensch, or overman, a figure who transcends nihilism by creating meaning where none exists. For Nietzsche, nihilism wasn't the end. It was a necessary stage of human growth. By facing the void, we could emerge stronger, more creative, and more free. Nihilism hasn't stayed in philosophy classrooms, it seeps into culture. Dostoevsky's characters wrestle with the despair of meaningless existence. In modern times, films like Fight Club and The Matrix embody nihilistic themes, questioning reality, identity, and purpose. Even memes today, with their dark humor about depression, absurdity, and meaninglessness, echo nihilism. The internet generation often jokes about the futility of life, turning despair into comedy. Music, from punk to black metal, channels nihilistic energy in rebellion and chaos. In culture, nihilism can be destructive, leading to apathy, self-destruction, or cynicism. But it can also spark creativity, rebellion, and radical honesty. But let's not romanticize nihilism too much. There's a dark side. If nothing matters, then morality, justice, even human life itself can seem worthless. History shows us how dangerous this mindset can be. Dictators and extremists have twisted nihilism into excuses for violence or cruelty. Individuals who fall too deeply into nihilistic despair may struggle with depression, hopelessness, or worse. Unchecked, nihilism can lead to apathy and collapse. If life has no meaning, why build, why create, why care? This is the existential risk nihilism brings to both individuals and societies. Here's the paradox. When you accept that nothing matters, you might discover the ultimate freedom. If the universe has no preset meaning, then meaning is not given, it is made. You are free to create your own purpose. This is where existentialists like Sartre and Camus picked up the torch from nihilism. They argued, life may be absurd, but it's precisely this absurdity that gives us power to shape it. Camus spoke of the absurd hero, who faces a meaningless universe yet chooses to live fully, defiantly, and joyfully. Imagine Sisyphus, condemned to roll his rock forever, but instead of despair, he finds freedom in the act itself. So, does nothing matter? Maybe. But that means you are free. Free to define your values, your dreams, your life. Nihilism destroys illusions, but in the ashes, it leaves space for creation. And that's the secret. Nihilism isn't just the end, it can be the beginning. If this journey into the void made you think, don't let it stop here. Like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into philosophy, paradoxes, and the ideas that shape how we live. And let me know in the comments, do you think nihilism is a curse or a kind of freedom?